FMTV.
Hello, this is Ngwiza Mnkandla coming to you from Harare, Zimbabwe. We are talking in this series about life's traps, and we've already covered several. In this segment, I'd like to talk to you about the trap of the treadmill. The trap of the treadmill is one that catches most of us unawares, and for the majority of people, once you are in it, it is almost impossible to get out unless you have help. Let me illustrate this by telling you of a story of what used to happen before boreholes developed the kind of sophistication and technology that they have today. They used to have what are called windmills. And in those days, it was a big wheel that was suspended in the air, as it were. It was even, this was before the windmill actually, it was the treadmill itself, where what they would do is they'd suspend this wheel in the air. And this wheel had steps on it that would have to be climbed in order for the wheel to turn. So they take a ladder and they'd force a slave up onto this ladder, and the minute he got onto the first rung of the wheel, they'd take the ladder off, and his weight on the rung or on the wheel would turn the wheel, and therefore he'd have to keep climbing, or else he'd fall to his death. And they would just force him to keep going until the point they realized that he could no longer sustain it, and then they'd take him off. This is true of the trap of the treadmill. It's something that you get into, and once you've got into it, you can't stop. Take, for instance, hire purchase agreements. You sign a hire purchase agreement, and there are monthly installments that you must make. And if you don't make those monthly installments, they're going to come and take whatever item it is that is on that HP agreement. And so you are forced to have to make the payment every month. Some of us have made those unfortunate financial commitments where you're no longer free with your money because you have to make that payment, or else you suffer a big loss. It also may be true of promises that we've made. There may be certain promises that we have made that were made hastily without adequate thinking or clear thinking on the consequences related to that promise. And now, because we made that commitment, we find it very difficult to break out. The trap of the treadmill, those situations in our lives that we've gotten ourselves into, and much as we would like to get out of that situation, we find it difficult to do so. I want you to stay with us to the end of this series, because we're going to give you a way of getting out of those traps. This particular one, the trap of the treadmill. The Bible is very clear about how these traps can be broken over our lives. And if you think you're caught in one of these traps, then the end of this series will help you to get out of the trap.
FMTV.